hello, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls.
What Bama does, what Bama do. They, they were giving Alabama like Alabama was this, and Alabama didn't lose their two
Does
stars.
not show up that day,
Dude,
or was it?
you watch the same?
systematically.
It's offense more like I've noticed it's more of a passing.
Hey, who knows? It might have been, might have not been. Who knows? But then again, that's what I call it football. I mean,
Oh man, that's definitely going on the blooper
When you
reel.
do that, boys, I think of Norbert. Oh my God. We have a dandelion encrusted rib.
Hey gang, what's going on? How is everybody doing? How you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? All of you in the back and way up in the cheap seats. Those of you that are watching at home got us on the big screens. If you're watching from your phones, if you're watching from your janky Cricket phone with your 3G connection that you got to go somewhere with the Wi-Fi and watch, thank you for tuning in. It is another episode. That was a long intro of this week.
yeah. So they make 3G phones anymore?
I don't even know, bro. They probably don't even boot up no more. They just like they turn them on and just like, bruh, go to T-Mobile. Go see Lily. Welcome to this week in the SEC football season 2, episode number 6. We thank you for joining us. I am your host, one half of the team, Mr. Fingers from Zagnan Central, and that fella over there, the brother from another mother, the sexy mother Hubbard, the ace of base in the place, in your face. It is my favorite part of the game. My brother Colin P, what's going on, man?
My man. What it is, Showbiz? How you been, my brother?
Not my man. You will steal that one from Big Dog, huh?
No.
My man. Look, I'm getting ready to isolate that right now and send it to him.
I got you. My apologies.
The shout out to our homie Jordan, aka Agent 23, doing big things on
with Easton, man.
on the professional softball circuit with Easton. We're not getting a check for saying that. That's just our homie. But I mean, Easton, if y'all want to send us a check, we'll take one. I mean,
you don't turn out money, dude.
The NFL, we don't. The NFL was giving out all sorts of money this past weekend. We could take some too. We definitely could take some too. Somebody's already. Oh, that's me. Don't pay me no mind. Just in the chat being dumb. I was like, oh snap! Somebody's already on watching with us. What's up? What's good?
Give it a minute, man. Give it a minute.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. I see that I started out without resetting things there. This week in the SEC football, sponsored by, as every week, the JG Enterprises. They specialize in custom Greek gear, but they can also make you custom-made sports gear. Get at them today. They also do custom Afghans. www.greekgans.com. Thank you, as always, for being a sponsor of this week in SEC football. So, before we even get into it, man, for those of you that saw our show last week, we had a very special guest on the show by the name of David Holt. He was here representing CDHI, an organization that is leading the forefront, out in the forefront of research for congenital diaphragmatic hernia, which is a condition that affects 1 in 2,500 children every year. Fortunately, here in the United States, with the medical center that we have, the chances of survival are very high, but there are a lot of expenses that go along with this for the parents of these children. They are still.
It's a 50% survival rate there. I mean, it is kind of dicey. Just to give you a little correction there.
Right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to misspeak.
No, you're good.
You're good. Colin spoke about it.
And it's very near. Just to say, it's very near and dear to me because Anthony's met. Actually, have seen my son quite sometimes on these shows and that kind of stuff, and he was diagnosed with CDH. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But as in other countries, survival rate is at 1% or less. And it's very common. 1 in 2,500 is not a small number. So we decided last week during the show that we were going to try and do our part. So what we are going to do, you know that we sell merchandise. We are going to donate 100% of the proceeds from our merchandise shop, from all of the podcasts that are tied with Zagnif Productions. We're going to be donating 100% of the proceeds to cdhi.org.
Man.
You might not necessarily want a t-shirt, but you might know somebody that's a sports fan that would like one. We got some pretty cool stuff there. Go by there and check. Go by there and check the gear out. CDHI International there. Just wanted to show the. There we go.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
Run that back one more time there. Somebody might want a t-shirt or a mug or something like that. You just grab them something a little neat, and all of those proceeds will go to cdhi.org for the entire month of May. Now, we do have other merchandise as well within Zagnif Apparel, but we're specifically, because we're coming from this podcast, we are donating 100% of all sales of a Zagnif Productions podcast merchandise to cdhi.org. And if you don't know anybody that likes sports and you just want to go straight and donate, as you see on the crawl there down in the lower third, cdhi.org. That is www.cdhi.org. If you just want to give them a donation straight, that works as well. So whatever you can give, please, $1, $5, it helps. It does for things like finding lodging for parents that have to lodging for parents that have to travel long distances to be near a hospital where their child can get treatment. You know, Colin,
Well, I mean, there's things like McDonald House and that kind of stuff available. Some parents can't or aren't available or not close enough to a McDonald House and that kind of stuff. Because I mean, that came to a point with my son's mother and us when he was actually in NICU for 65 days. So definitely, they do a lot of things. Like Dave said last week, with the care packages, the care bags, with bibs, with all kind of baby stuff that you normally don't really think about. You go to Target, whatever, to pick up, but they have embroideries. Like I said last week, my mother was involved in embroidering anybody's name or kind of like a CDH ribbon or any kind of that stuff that would be included in the bibs, and then pacifiers, all that kind of stuff that comes with a newborn baby. These parents are actually involved in, just going through the trauma and then, just the emotional stuff about, knowing and finding out that their kid has this kind of condition and this kind of congenital defect. And, maybe don't have the time or not have just can't think about the stuff like the normal stuff that normal parents actually think about. They are definitely involved in providing this kind of stuff for them, and as well as information. And, just having Dave on last week was actually very, very a blessing to me. CDHI has actually been a blessing to me since, Brady's whole experience and our experience with him going through what he's gone through so far. But Anthony, thank you so much for, actually giving 100% of the proceeds. Like you said, we don't sell too much, but I mean, that in and of itself is a great testament, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, bro. No question, man. I remember I actually met just a little history behind it. Colin and I, we met through our third party friend, our big dog, our homeboy, Agent 23, and Colin and Brady's mom at that point, were coming to see me at the shows. And I remember when they were expecting Brady, and then they just kind of, it kind of disappeared for a while. And it was only after our homeboy Gatch was like, yeah, this is what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And that was the first time I had ever heard of CDH ever in my life.
And a lot of people have. I mean, like, have not. But I mean, I want to go back and kind of revisit last show, because I mean, I did want to say that, even though we talked about how great Brady was doing or he's doing now, and Dave said that he was his son was half of the 1% that, he's doing karate and that kind of stuff. You got a flip side. You got to look at the flip side of that. That their parents that kids do not do as well. And they're definitely doing very, very. They're dealing with severe, like detrimental stuff. And you have parents that actually lose their kids, and it's something that kind of brings you back when you're in that situation and you're in the NICU and you see that kind of stuff happening. I mean. And Anthony, you and I have talked about it. There's more important things in life. It kind of brings you back to look at what's more important in life. You see people going through this kind of stuff. It makes you look at like what's important in life. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. And so, again, ladies and gentlemen, there is the link to purchase. There is the link to purchase merchandise. We are just once again, Colin and I on This Week in SEC Football have committed ourselves to donating 100% of the proceeds of the sales of any merch from that link right there, tiny URL. I had to do a small one because it was real big. That link right there to pick up any podcast merchandise. That's any of the merchandise that falls up under Zagner Productions. We are donating 100% of our proceeds to CDHI to help with research and funds just to help out the families that are going through what they're going through while their children are undergoing treatment and surgeries and et cetera, et cetera. So,
and I hope one day we can find out the cause of this happening. That's just a dream.
Yep. Absolutely. So, yes, please, by all means, go by, hit the link, or visit cdhi.org. I'm going to leave their website in the crawl during the remainder of the show. So if you want to donate and you got questions, hey, you can reach out to us. We're both right on Facebook. You can hit us on up. But we're going to keep the show moving right on along. We were talking earlier about, Colin, there was a big event that took place this past weekend.
There was one, but you know what? Normally, I'll be honest with you, I don't really pay attention too much to the NFL draft, but I had kind of a special reason to pay attention this year. You know why?
As did I. And if you're just now watching us for the first time, welcome to This Week in SEC Football. I'm Mr. Fingers. That's my man, Colin Peter, brother from another. We're both dog fans, and for the first time in 41 years, our dogs won a national championship. Last one was under Coach Vince Dooley with the great Herschel Walker, both UGA legends. And this year, there was no contest this year. In terms of from tape to tape, with the exception of the SEC championship, it was no contest this year for the dogs. We know already. You already heard the stories. The record-breaking defense, Keely Ringo, and what was it? What was it? Third and Ringo. That's what we call it. Third and Ringo.
Yeah, third and Ringo. Yeah,
third and Ringo, rocking the baby to sleep. The last sack to close the game. All of it. And so it was highly anticipated that a goodly number of dogs would go in the draft this year. So we had 15 guys. I say we, like I'm part of the program.
Hey, we invested time, bro. I mean, I feel like
you
know what I'm saying? I cry when you lose.
Hey, over 4 decades of fandom should count for something, right? Yeah, that and 2 nickels will get me a seat right outside the gate on game day on Saturday. You're fans, all of the rest of the folks. Go grab a hot dog from one of the tailgaters. Go Dogs. So anyway, we had 15 guys in the draft, and all 15 were drafted. There was not one dog left behind. George Bush Sr. would be proud. There were no dogs left behind. At the end of the initial 7 rounds, all 15 dogs were drafted. We'll go over the draft picks. Where they went, and how they placed a little bit later. But it was a record.
Hey, you know when you have a good day at the draft when your punter gets drafted.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because punters normally wind up going as undrafted free agents, or they go real late in the 7th round.
Yeah, Goggles did he get drafted?
Yeah, he got drafted too.
He did get drafted, right?
Yeah, but that kid was too good to not get picked up.
That's very true. Yeah, that's very true.
He was too good to not get picked up. He missed like one field goal all season.
Yeah, but he set a record in the Rose Bowl against I guess Oklahoma, was it? And like it was I don't know what it was, a 57-yarder or something like that. Something around there.
Yeah, I had a ritual every time he would kick. I would hold it up, and then when the ball went up and went through, I was like, "It's good." That was my whole ritual.
Oh
Gotta
man,
go.
I might steal that from you, bro.
Yeah, that was my thing. Let's respect. That was my thing. Respect the
Respect
specs.
the specs. That's right.
Boom,
That's right.
done. So not only did Georgia have 15 players drafted, we'll get back to them in a minute. The SEC overall completely dominated the draft. I think the question is over about where the chunk of the talent is. I mean, there's talented guys playing all over college football. But
Sure.
I think the question with D1 is concerned, at least this year, where the talent was, it's no contest this year. 65 players total drafted from the Southeast Conference, 15 from Georgia, and we'll break those down in a minute, 10 from LSU, 7 from Alabama, 6 from Ole Miss, 5 from Tennessee, 4 from Texas A&M and Kentucky, Florida, Arkansas, and South Carolina. Now, what does that tell you about the level of talent? When South Carolina is in a rebuilding season, because it's their first season with a new coach, Arkansas had a great start to the season and then kind of fell off a little bit. And Florida, the wheels completely came off their season this year. Each of those teams still got 3 players. Mississippi State had 2. Missouri had 2. Auburn came in tailing the pack with 1. Vanderbilt didn't have any, but I honestly don't think guys that go to Vanderbilt really go
to play
football with the intent to play NFL football.
Yeah, right. And one thing I saw, Anthony, at Texas, if they're going to the SEC or what have you, they had 0. Texas had absolutely
0 draft picks. Yep. Now here's the thing: the one that got me was their guy Cameron Dicker the kicker. I'm surprised she didn't get picked up because that kid's got a booming leg. His leg is. I would venture to say, and it hurts me to say it, I would venture to say his leg is stronger than Rodrigo's leg.
Really? Okay.
And they call him Dicker the kicker. I mean, he broke a record. He kicked the field goal that beat us in the Peach Bowl that year, right? Which didn't make me very happy. But I mean, the kid's a phenomenal kicker. I mean, he wound up getting picked up as an undrafted free agent. But I was surprised nobody snapped him up in the last 2 rounds, like somewhere at the bottom of the 6th or the top of the 7th.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, I wouldn't even think about him. Yeah, that surprises me as well. But I mean, just to see Texas have absolutely 0 pickup, I mean, that surprised me as well.
Oh, absolutely, man. But 0,
zippy.
You could take 0 from 0 and still have 0. That don't make no sense.
Nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
Right. You got to do something. Anyway, that's a whole different. Eddie, don't tell me nothing. Don't get me started. We try to keep this PG.
Hey,
I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go, Lily. If I had to beg and plead, do the symphony.
That's right. I got you. I'm right there.
And scene. We're back. But this actually had me beg the question. So there was a player that went to Texas that made this profound proclamation at the end of their game. Is it still true?
We're back.
I think he missed 2 words. He said they are in the back. They are in the back.
Oh, they are in the back.
They are in the back. Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm sorry, I got a message here that I need to look at in a minute.
Oh, you good?
Yeah, I mean, and what have they done since then? I mean, that was at the end of the 2018 season. And so, you know what? I'm going to look this up. To learn on football record since 2018. So since 2018, they have gone. Oh, it doesn't show. The last time Texas made the playoffs. That's not even Texas Longhorns. That's the Houston Texans. So I can't find anything on here that shows what their records are from year to year. Although I could go to Wikipedia. It would tell me. For those of you just joining us while I'm looking this up, thank you so much for joining us for this week's edition of This Week in SEC Football. I am Mr. Fingers from Zagnif Central. That guy right there, the brother from another, Colin P., joining us. Thank you very much. If you like what you're seeing, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a share. We are live on the Facebooks every week when we can get on. I don't see the thing with their records on here, so it doesn't say. But they finished the
Horns ain't been
2017.
hooking too much lately, huh? So the Horns ain't been hooking too much.
No, the Horns have not been hooking much at all. As a matter of fact, we've seen more hooks down at Red River than we've seen in the last 4 years.
Very true.
So I can't believe they made that a penalty. But anyway, so yeah, the SEC just completely dominated the draft. We're gonna go through this here in just a bit and tell you who went where. But yeah, so I gotta get back. We gotta get back to Georgia. I gotta come back to Georgia just to give you a little bit of a breakdown because we have a couple stories that are building off that. So the first round, there were 12 SEC players taken in the first round, and there were 5 from Georgia. All 5 were defensive players. Another record, first time there have been 5 defensive players taken in the first round of the draft. That was Trayvon Walker, who wound up going with the number 1 pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Defensive.
Were you surprised at that? Let me get you off just for a second. Were you surprised he went number 1?
No, because there was a whole lot of buzz to start to pick up about 3 weeks beforehand that he might.
Okay.
I mean, it would pop up about every other story that there's a probability that he could potentially go number 1 in the draft. Yeah. So Trayvon went number 1. Big 6'4", 340 pounds. Run a 4.6, 440. Boy, looked like he could be in the same room with a box of Popeye 12-piece, cut off the lights, and 11 pieces be gone before it get dark. That boy is big and that boy is bad. I'm talking about Jordan Big Baby Davis, straight out of University of Georgia, defensive lineman, taking on 3-4 guys at a time, looking like Andre the Giant in 1984 WWF SummerSlam.
Man.
Yes, sir. Much respect to the Big Baby. And we're back. He went with the 13th pick. He went to the Philadelphia Eagles. Quay Walker at the 22nd pick, linebacker, went to the Packers. Number 28 pick went to the Packers also. Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle and safety. Louis Seen from Minnesota rounded out the first round of the draft at pick number 32. Like I said, he went to the Vikings. Now, the thing that threw me was the fact that we know that Georgia's defense was the best in the country last year. Right. Now, when I saw that they took Quay Walker, I'm like, okay, cool. But then I forgot what position he played. And then I saw that he was a linebacker. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, who else we know is a linebacker?
We're going to get to that in a minute. I'm setting the story up. So then we move on to the second round. That was when we saw wide receiver 1, George Pickens, go to Pittsburgh with a 52nd pick. Cook to the Bills at 63, running back. All of these picks, we don't have to go through all of the why we think that what they can contribute, because we kind of discussed that at length at the end of the season. Yeah. Coming into the draft, I think I was on the draft show with the Let's Talk Football crew last weekend for round 1. I think that's quite possibly the longest podcast I've ever done, because I literally was. If I wasn't on screen, I was in the green room, and it started at 7 and it didn't end until like 11 something. So 4-hour podcast.
Oh man,
a lot of fun.
That's a long day, bro.
A lot of fun though. I got a lot sillier the more things went on. Let's see. So then we get to the third round, and with the 83rd pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select linebacker, field general, physical engineering major with a 3.7 something GPA, and newly initiated member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Much respect to the Qs. Yeah, he crossed the spring before last season. He was initiated. He was initiated that spring, and then football season, and then championship. That's why you saw him. That's why you saw him throwing up the hooks, because him and Shaq and Michael Jordan and Steve Harvey and a bunch of other people are all Q. So if you ever see them doing that's that Q dog thing. We'll get into that in a little bit later. Channing Tindall went to Miami, linebacker with the 102nd pick. Fourth round, we got Zamir White, the running back, go to the Las Vegas Raiders with the 122nd pick. We had kicker punter Jake Camarda, 4.56. What punter you don't run a 4.56?
So why are you running? Like, you ain't got to run. You can kick the football. So why are you running?
Every football team I've ever been on, as far as players that saw significant playing time, I'm not talking about the second and third stringers because a lot of those guys were slow. But every guy I saw that got significant playing time, the kicker and the punter was always the two slowest guys.
Yeah,
hell, he's out there running faster than Big Baby. Not by much. Like, he's running down the field with Big Baby. Jake Camarda went to the Bucks, so he's going to be playing with TB12, Tom Terrific. Let's see here. Then we didn't have any in the 5th round, and then in the 6th round, the last 4 of our 15 boys, Justin Schaefer, O-line, Atlanta at 190. O-line, Jamari Sawyer went to the Chargers at 195. Cornerback Darian Kendrick went to the Rams at 212. And tight end John Fitzpatrick went right behind him to the Atlanta Falcons at 213. You could have bowled me over with a spoon. There's one we don't normally see. I don't remember when the last time was that Georgia players got picked up to go play in Atlanta.
I know. And that's what I mean. If you were looking in the same I guess the same Facebook groups I was looking at, that was the conversation. That was the topic of conversation, and all of it. Like just missing Georgia players left and right. Like, oh yeah, that's why the Falcons are gonna suck again. Da, 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 da. You know, I was like, I mean, I had no answer for it. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, I don't know what we actually need for the Falcons. But I mean, I think we need.
I tell you what we need for the Falcons.
Everything.
I tell you what we need for the Falcons, boo boo. Everything.
Yeah. I mean, I
agree. O-line, defense, offense, special teams, and even the third stringers. Everything.
But see, that made even more less sense, though.
This has been your public service professional football announcement from your friendly neighborhood pipper, Shannon and I, Honda.
Yeah, we need.
I mean, that made less sense that they let all these defensive players go by, and all these players go by in general. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I don't know what.
And had good picking position.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
If the Falcons were smart, like last year, they had the number 4 pick, right? If they were smart, they would have got a young quarterback last year.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Now, granted, didn't Malik Willis wind up coming? No, Malik Willis didn't get drafted by us. What quarterback got drafted by us? Didn't we draft a quarterback?
I don't
know. Pick up a free agent? No, Malik Willis went somewhere else. Pay me no mind. Tired. 9 to 5 is wearing me out. Anyway, no, they did pick up somebody. I forgot who, but it wasn't one of the dogs. But somebody did pick him up. Was it? Maybe it was Malik Willis. I believe it was. Yeah. No, Malik Willis went to the Texans. So who was it that went to Atlanta? Was it? We'll look that up. But we're not talking them. We talking SEC football. So forgive me. Anyway.
But it'd be nice to have somebody come from Georgia to go to Atlanta to stay in the whole state. You know what I mean?
And there was there was a blog, I believe it was our buddy BG, GB, that did a whole thing on you have a franchise that is hurting right now, and you're having a hard time generating fan interest right now because your franchise is hurting. So what better way to regenerate interest in your flailing franchise than to draft players that are homegrown that people will definitely be interested to come and see?
I mean, look at the list. Look at the list, Anthony. I mean, look at the list before Atlanta got a pick. I mean, they picked Schaefer. Look at all those names. Oh, man.
Exactly. So, and Athens is only about 30, 40 minutes from Atlanta?
If that, yeah. I mean, about an hour maybe, I guess.
Yeah, well, maybe longer than that, the way traffic is now. But the point is still, it's not a very long drive from Athens to Atlanta. You can get there, you get there, boom, you're done, right? So why not draft some players from Georgia just to generate some interest in the team? Now, granted, you have to have a front office that knows what decisions to make, who to draft, and a coaching staff that can coach them so that they don't go out there and get themselves all beaten, broken up as much money as they're going to pay them. Now,
Right.
that was the other caveat that I think they keep saying they don't have any cap space. Although I forgot who it
I mean,
was. I think
they just let
shout
loose a
out to
lot
our
of
yeah, shout out to our boy Sid Swinton, the from the Hot Mess Express Sundays with the Swintons. The cap is a lie, but yeah. So they had all this dead cap space because of Matt Ryan's contract. So maybe just no money to get those guys, because if they had picked them up in the first couple rounds, they were going to have to come up with some shekels.
Yeah.
But yes, Georgia absolutely dominates the draft completely. I don't know. I mean, they broke the record previously held was the 2020 draft, and that was, of course, LSU coming off their championship season, and prior to
Yeah.
that was Ohio State, and Ohio State was, I believe, coming off a championship run also, or a near championship run. I'd have to do my research to look that up, but this is called This Week in the SEC, and that's why I don't know, because I didn't look.
This week, not last week.
This week, not 300 and some odd weeks ago.
Exactly.
So that's where we are. So congratulations to all of those damn good dogs that got drafted. Go forth and do us proud. I hate to say it, but if, Philly is looking kind of nasty on defense already, just with those two additions.
Well, that's what we talked about. We talked about that earlier. I was like, I was so happy that Big Baby and Kobe are together at Philly, and then you got Quay and Quay and Devontae together at Green Bay. I mean, it's awesome to see, players that have been playing with each other for a long time, and are actually made it to the next level, and are together. I wish they all could play together, but that obviously that's not going to happen. But I mean, it's awesome that they. It was good for the Kobe to last as long as he did, not to come off the board, until he did, and they Philly took him up. And that was the thing about, just talk about Nakobe, if you want to get into that, Anthony, is it was surprising, and that you were surprised that he went as low as he did. I wasn't aware of his pectoral, issue until that day. I don't think anybody was. I think it was actually brought out. Wasn't it brought out like the day before?
It didn't come out until, like, I didn't even know. I think it came out the day of the draft, because that was when, because we were sitting there watching, and I kept watching it: linebacker, Cincinnati, linebacker, Michigan, linebacker, Washington State, and I was like, why? And I'm sitting here to myself wondering, why in the world, if you had a record-breaking defense like that, and I'm sitting here as a fan, the uninformed fan.
I'm right there with you, man. Yeah.
As an uninformed football fan, I saw what Georgia's defense did this past season, and the undisputed leader and the undisputed best player on that defensive squad was Nakobe Dean.
Absolutely.
If he's the best player on the best defensive squad on the best team in the nation, why is he not getting picked up? And after he kept falling down, I said, something's got to be wrong. And then it was roundabout late in the second round where I started hearing the stories that they started popping up on the Twitter, in the Twitterverse and stuff like that, saying that he'd had some issues with his pec and his neck and something else. And I don't know what all of the details are, because I never read any of them, because he got drafted and I'm happy for him.
Oh yeah.
But
that was it goes back to the, like I just told you, the quote that Jordan Davis put on his Twitter. It was like, delayed, not denied. You know what I'm saying? That just proves it. I mean, that's awesome. That's an awesome quote. Delayed, not denied. I'm happy that they're together. I'm happy all these guys got drafted. Hopefully, praying they stay healthy and they make a good name for themselves, man, and just and do the best they can. Maybe get a championship here and there, or get a Super Bowl. Get that ring. So.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see some guys from the championship team final, because I don't think there's any. I think Kevin Butler was the only player off the 80 team to get a ring, because he wound up going to Chicago.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice. It would be nice, but that would require for, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different teams to get Super Bowl rings. And the average shelf life of a professional football player is somewhere between 5 to 8 years. Well, actually, and that's marquee players. If they don't get the marquee players that don't get hurt, they play a good long while. But most players play about 5 to 7 years, and then they're done. So, and then we can go ahead and knock one off the list because I don't want to see this team win the Super Bowl. Not this year. Not while they got that same quarterback as the Buccaneers. So we can knock them off the list.
Yeah.
Well,
who was that? That means our punter. He won't get a ring. He can wait a year or two. He'll be all right. He's young.
What he'll do is he's going to get one of those undrafted free agent, non-guaranteed 2-year deals, and come the 2024 season, he'll be punting for somebody else somewhere. You know how it goes.
We'll
see. They'll probably still be there. That kid's phenomenal. As long as he stays healthy and stays out of trouble. So
that's another thing. Yeah, that's another big thing you got to do. Stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
Get all that money thrown at you, man. You never know.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what was going on when they Kobe, but when it finally came out, it made a little bit of sense. But I'm amazed at, number one, how long they managed to keep all of that under wraps, because that's the kind of stuff that normally comes out during the And now it kind of makes sense. Like he didn't participate in the combine.
You think that's why he didn't? I mean, that was a question. I mean, I don't know why that would be a reason, right? Because
it could be potentially. I mean, they just did come off and winning the national championship. Like all the other teams that did not get into the CFP and national championship have been sitting and cooling their heels since after their conference championships, which was like the end of December. Right. Everybody else played football well into January. So, it could have come out. But let me tell you something. If that kid had anything hurt on him, I didn't see it week to week. I hate to see what he's going to do. I hate to see what he's going to do after he's now been done playing ball since February, and the pro season doesn't start till September. I hate to see what he's going to do with a good 7 months of rest and recoup. I mean, they're going to be having training camp and stuff soon, but man.
Well, that goes into kind of what I was going to say. Like, I don't know if you were trying to segue into here, but I just kind of questioned, like, a lot of these guys, let's just say the top 5. Like, you got Trayvon, Jordan, Quay, Devontae, Seen, and let's put in Pickens, and let's put in Devontae. Not Devontae, Jacoby. Mm-hmm. You think they'll see time right off the bat? You think all these guys will be like on the field right off the bat?
I definitely think the first rounders are going to see some playing action. It depends. Of course, it depends on what they show the coaching staff in training camp. But the money that they're going to have to pay to them top 5 that got drafted in the first round, they're going to be playing, because there's no way in hell that Shad Khan is going to let his coach let Trayvon Walker sit on the bench for God only knows what he's going to get paid a year. He's not going to get any less than 15 to 18 a year.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yep.
Big baby's gonna make linemen don't make that much, but Big Baby's gonna make probably 5 or 6 a year.
Yeah.
Pickens is gonna easily make. He'll get a 7-figure contract. Now I don't think he's gonna play right out the break.
Yeah, that's the kind of conversation we had last week. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still kind of nursing his leg, that knee and whatever. If they were smart, they'd kind of let him rest just a little bit longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're investing a goodly amount of money in a kid that you want to stick around at least through the end of his rookie contract, and after that, if he's serviceable. So, as a GM, I wouldn't have that kid running out on the field.
No, most definitely not.
Now the thing with him is, we know he's got a little bit of a hot head. Now that he's got this fat check in his pocket, if he winds up not playing, is he going to sit at home? Is he going to behave?
Is it going to be an AB? Is he going to be,
Is he going to behave, or is he going to be the one that they're picking up drunk in the club for drunk and disorderly, or drunk driving, or God knows what?
Yeah, let's hope not.
From what I understand, it ain't that much trouble for him to get into in Pittsburgh, but Philly ain't but a few hour drive away.
That's true. But there's talking about Jordan Davis. I don't know if you saw that. I guess there was the put a bold former NFL scout released this video not too long ago saying that Jordan Davis is going to be the biggest bust coming out of this year's draft. And he proceeded to go down the line and just basically disrespect Big Baby on everything, all of his accolades that he did. And I was taken back. I was like, how? I said, all right, so it makes me understand why you're a former NFL scout. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, it was just kind of weird to hear him talk about it. I mean, obviously, you know, everybody's got their downfalls. Everybody got their shortcomings. Okay, I get it. But, I mean, from what he's done the past couple of years, especially last year, you know, especially, I mean, yeah, I don't know how anybody could, you know, say anything like that. You know what I mean?
Well, number one, the problem there is you're talking about a guy who was a former scout, and you're talking about a guy who was he was a scout for the NFL at some point. So
Right.
all they had to do, whether he was good or whether he was bad, because we don't know the names of any NFL scouts like that. Like
Right.
we know head coaches' names, we know owner and GM names, we know player names. We don't know the name of the assistant to the assistant weights and conditioning coach. We don't know the names of their scouts, like team scouts or league scouts.
Right.
So all this guy has to do is say, okay, he's got creds. Remember, somebody was asking for my creds last year. What's your creds?
What's your
creds?
All
he has to do is put former NFL scout behind his name, like that. All of a sudden makes him a genius guru.
Right.
Listen, Albert Einstein was wrong every now and again too.
Oh, absolutely.
Stephen Hawking messed up on the A. I'm pretty sure Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos was not always a rich ball guy. Jeff Bezos started off selling Amazon to sell books. Out of his garage.
How about Elon Musk, the new founder of new CEO of Twitter? I mean, I'm sure he messed up a time or two.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's the first time I tried to do a podcast, I jacked it up. So every NFL, just because you're an NFL scout, I would love to see the list of guys the list of players this guy scouted that made it to the league that did something. Yeah. And then maybe we could talk. If he starts saying, okay, Tom Brady and Russell Wilson, and because Russell was a third rounder, you know what I'm saying? If you talk about that, show me these 5th, 6th, and 7th rounders you drafted that turned into diamonds in the rough.
Right.
We won't know anything about what any of these guys are going to do until they get on the field.
And that was my point, actually. That was my point, actually. It's like all these people are making all these speculations where there's nothing even to be seen yet. I mean, they ain't even taken the field yet, not even touched the grass, not even between, you know what I mean? And always making these kind of assumptions, whatever. But I mean, I'm sorry if you have to get 3 people to guard my man. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't foresee him as being a bad player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and I didn't realize until they showed that slow motion clip. Like I've seen it in real time. But I didn't realize until they showed that slow motion clip. He literally just put wingspan out and held off 3 guys.
Absolutely.
And they started to push him. And you're talking about 3 guys he had to have been holding back easily close to upwards of over 800. No, over 800. Because those were offensive linemen.
Yeah, you're right.
He upwards of 800 pounds, maybe close to 9. And he just standing there holding them. And when they moved him a little bit, he just kicked back with that right leg and dug in. It's like, nope, you're going to get this work today. Like his whole goal was not to rush. His entire goal was not to rush passers. And his goal, the whole reason he was on the line was to stuff up holes and keep people from running plays on his side of the field, or stuff up holes so that the second tier, so that, stuff up holes so the linebackers can get in there and shoot those gaps, and things of that nature. Yeah, that's what he was there for, and he did that better than anybody else in the Division I this past season.
No, I agree with that. That was one of the points of this former scout, is like he didn't get it to the backfield. I was like, dude, I mean, that wasn't his job. His job was to create chaos, so somebody else could get there. So Nakobe get back there. So, I mean, like somebody else could get back there. You know what I mean? He was to fill the holes. His job wasn't to get – if he got there, great. But that wasn't his number one priority. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the kicker. When he decided he was going, you better look out because he was going to get you.
Yeah, you wasn't stopping him. That's for sure.
Yep. So we're going to keep this thing moving along. Those of you that just joined us, or welcome to This Week in SEC Football. I'm Mr. Fingers. That's Colin P., the brother from another. We want to thank – we can't go another further without thanking our this segment sponsor, sponsored by Envision Social Media, giving you the power to empower, create, and sustain your social media platform. You need help getting your social media platform together, not getting enough hits, not getting enough likes, can't figure out the algorithm. Holler at the folks at Envision Social Media today. That is www.envisionsocialmedia.com. Thank you for being a sponsor of This Week in SEC Football. Also, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget, for the remainder of this month, a whole month of It's Gonna Be May, we are giving away. We're not giving away anything. We are, excuse me, I got so excited. Look, I said giving away, and as I almost got sick. Ooh, bring that back in. We are donating all the proceeds from our podcast merchandise shop. That is tinyurl.com/ZA podcast merch to the CDH International. I keep wanting to call them the CDH Foundation. It is CDH International. They are a leading fundraiser towards research and legislation and assistance for families of children that are diagnosed with congenital diaphragmatic hernia. If you don't want to visit the shop, you can visit, as you see in the crawl down there, cdhi.org right there, and you can donate. That's funny. I said that it actually looked like you was looking at it, reading it while it was going by.
I was looking at it. I was like, all right.
Yeah, but we were talking NFL draft. We were talking about that for a little bit here. Just want to mention some of the notables that got picked up from some of the other teams. We did talk about Georgia. With Alabama, you had Mechie and Williams. Mechie went number 44 to Houston. Jameson went number 12 to Detroit. Boy, he did not look happy, did he?
No, he didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, man. I'm lunching a little bit, but he's the one that messed up his knee against us.
Jameson Williams hurt his leg in the national championship.
It was the national championship, right? That was him.
Yeah, Mechie was the one that hurt his leg in the. Maybe I got him back. Yeah, because one hurt.
One going downfield, right downfield, the center of the field, where he caught the ball and he came down wrong, right?
Yeah. One got hurt in the SEC championship. The other one got hurt in the national championship game.
So evidently, his injury was not all that bad if he got drafted by the NFL.
Well, no.
Yeah, you see me? You hear it, right? You hear me?
Maybe, yeah, but we were postulating that maybe somebody, N'Kobe doesn't know where the bodies are buried. He's the one that buried the bodies.
Sure.
So that's why he didn't get drafted.
You see where I'm coming from, though, right? I mean,
Yeah. You got two players that had major injuries that got picked up in the first round. Or one in the first and one in the second. Also, Brian Robinson Jr., we have sang his praises. He plays for Bama, but we sang his praises all season long. The kid's a stud. The kid is a hard worker, hard charger, very determined. He got picked up by the Commanders with the 98th pick, and our buddy Sean couldn't have been happier. Welcome to Washington, Brian Robinson Jr. Keeping it moving. USC Junior, as we like to call them, University of South Carolina. Edge rusher Kingsley Inagbare, I got it, went to the Packers with the 179th pick. I can't read my own handwriting. I practiced it, so I know how to. But then when I went to look at it, I'm like, I was like, I can't even read the letters. I wrote them so small. With LSU, we know DB cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. went to the Texans with the third pick. He's going to get paid. Cha-ching. Linebacker Damone Clark went to Dallas. He was the SEC's leading tackler last season. Now, granted, our defense shut people down, but the leading tackler in the entire conference came from LSU. The reason that Clark dropped so low, they said he had spinal fusion surgery, so he's going to wind up having to probably sit out most of the first season. But they didn't. He was a player that they couldn't pass up. So, Kentucky wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson, who was he was pretty studly. He caught most of the passes. He caught most of the passes in the game that Wesley Gaines had to come on and give your boy an apology for that, talking all that smack about beating us in Athens. He went to the Packers with the 179th pick. He went to the Giants with the 43rd pick. Cornerback Kaiir Elam went to the Bills with the 23rd pick in the first round. Missouri, their running back Tyler Beatty went to the Ravens with the 196th pick. Arkansas,
I like that.
I mean, they had 3 players get drafted, but none that were really notable. Their most notable players they had were the running back and the running backs and the 2 quarterbacks, and none of them were eligible for the draft this year. Mississippi State offensive tackle Charles Cross went to the Seahawks with the 9th pick. A&M had O-lineman Kenyon Green with the 15th pick to Houston, and Isaiah Spiller, the stud running back, went to the Chargers in the 4th round. Auburn did not have any notable players of note. They did have 1 player drafted. Ole Miss, Matt Corral went to the Carolina Panthers with the 94th pick. Good. Hey, look, the Panthers say, well, if we can't show up our offensive line, we need to have a good backup quarterback. And running back Snoop Connor, who I was surprised did not go earlier, went to the Jags. So then over here, we also had from OU, even though they're not SEC, they will be in a couple of years. Their outside linebacker, Nick Benito, went into the 64th pick in the 2nd round to the Denver Broncos. And their running back, Kennedy Brooks, who I'm personally a fan of. I live here in Oklahoma City. I got to watch and listen to a lot of the games on the radio. I mean, the kid is he's just like Brian Robinson. He's a hard charger. He just puts his head down. He's a hard runner. He's going to have to learn to adapt his style. He can cut and slice. It's just Big 12 football is you don't have a lot of room for cutting and slicing. You know what I mean? Right. Not in this day and age. But he was an undrafted free agent to Philadelphia. And this team is not SEC, but this team was the darling of the media last year with their absolutely incredible Cinderella run. Now, granted, they weren't in a Power 5 conference, but they took on all comers and they knocked them out. And I think they only lost 1 game the whole season. That's the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. Their tight end Isaiah Likely wound up getting picked up with the 139th pick. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is everybody that got picked up in the draft, SEC-wise and other. Congratulations to all the players that got drafted, to those that are still negotiating undrafted free agent deals. Wish you the best of luck. Looking forward to watching you guys play on Sunday. Can't wait. I can't wait. I'm not gonna know what team to watch on Sunday now. I might have to spring for Sunday ticket just so I can watch all the dogs play at some point.
Yeah, I mean, when Trayvon was actually picked by the Jags, I'm like, all right, well, you know, Jags are the way they are right now. I mean, there's several teams. I mean, us included, the Falcons included. I mean, they're rebuilding. They
ownership.
You want him
ownership.
To go to a good team. I'm just saying,
ownership.
You want him to go somewhere that where he can flourish. And I was happy to see him go number 1. But number 2, I wasn't happy to see where he went. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I don't want to be another Stafford, type of situation. I have, see what kind of contract he signs. You know what I'm saying? If it's a lucrative, I mean, money's money. Don't get me wrong. But you sign like an 8, 9, 10 year deal. I mean, not that he will. I'm just saying you want to make sure that things are on the up and up when you do that kind of stuff.
But
you know what I mean? That's me.
But let's roll the tape back about 25 minutes ago. Remember what I said? If you have a franchise that's floundering, what's the best thing you can do to help that franchise, at least to bring some people in? They drafted a homegrown guy. Are you listening, Arthur Blank? Hello, is this thing on? Arthur Blank, if you're watching.
And actually, Jacksonville is very close to the Georgia-Florida state line. So I mean, that to your point, that's absolutely true. So, I mean, he did go to Georgia, and he's close enough to Athens. You know what I'm saying? He is he's a Jaguar. There's so many people in my hometown that actually, root for the Jaguars instead of the Falcons. You know what I mean? They're right there by the line. So, I mean, hopefully that's the case. I mean, I'm not saying, hey, more power to him. I'm just hoping it happens that way. That's all.
Yeah. But I was referring to your boy Hutchinson going to Detroit. The Ford family said, we're going to draft a guy from Michigan. That means that people that root for Michigan, which is most of the people in the state of Michigan, most of the people in the state of Michigan, with the exception of those that root for little brother Michigan State, will be either watching the game to see what he does or coming to the game to see what he does. Because right now, he is now the new darling. He is now the new darling of the Detroit Lions. You think people are paying money? You think people paying money to go see Goff throw balls, Jared Goff throw balls around the football field?
No.
In my lifetime that I can remember following the Detroit Lions, they went to see Barry Sanders run. They went to see Matt Stafford throw balls to Calvin Johnson.
Megatron, baby.
And they also went to see if Ndamukong Suh was going to step on somebody's neck. And
Megatron, you can't keep him out. And Megatron was the man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they wanted to see Matt Stafford throw those footballs to Megatron. And that's what people went to see. And since Megatron retired and Matt Stafford got traded, woof. It's been a long
man. I love that. Is that a Geico commercial that Matt Stafford's on? That changes a good thing.
Right.
He kind of winks to the camera. I don't know if is it a Geico commercial? I can't remember what commercial it is.
Lions games have become like that commercial for I think what's the one with Mayhem? Is it Nationwide?
Yeah, it's Nationwide.
Yeah, when he's dancing in the street, the Lions games have become just like that. This thing's gonna get tens of views. That's how Lions games have been on TV last season.
So, tens of views.
Yeah. So best of luck to everybody that got picked up in the draft. We're gonna move on to our next segment. For this segment is brought to you and sponsored by. Where is my video? It is not up here. This next segment is sponsored by 1906 Tees, also specializing in custom sports gear. Visit them at Square Up /1906tees.com today. Go visit them. They'll get you squared away. Thank you for being a sponsor this week in SEC football. Hey, if you're just joining us, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop us a comment or two in the comment section. I'm Mr. Fingers. That is the ace of base in your face in the place. The brother from another mother, Colin P. I did that one already. That's not the one I want to talk about. So you know that there's a lot going on in the sports talk community. And it is not ever more apparent than you see on social media, especially in sports groups. And the last several seasons how people have just eaten up. They've been all over this certain coach about how he can't coach and how he can't recruit and how he can't develop talent. And
pretty much they can do so much better than he can every way. And go ahead. I'm
right. Well, this past January 31st, as of this past January 31st, that coach not only did all of the above, he also won a national championship, became the first assistant of Nick Saban's to beat Nick Saban in a national championship.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Yep. Yeah. It's not to beat him, but to beat him in the national championship. I got you.
And so he's the new king of the hill, at least until this coming season starts. Kirby Smart. And my question is, with what Kirby Smart did from helping that team to bounce back after that loss in the 2018 national championship, they had a great run the following year. They just lost in the SEC championship, which knocked them out of the top four. And then they lost the Peach Bowl. That was a 2018 season. 2019 was kind of 2020, because that was the year JT Daniels got hurt. Shocker. One of the years JT Daniels got hurt. Best of luck to JT Daniels at West Virginia University, by the way. Give him hell down there, young man. We'll be. Hey, I'm in Big 12 country, so that means I get to see you play a few times this season. JT got hurt, so that kind of put things. Carson Beck ran out there, and he was a young kid then, and he looked a little scared. But there was this other kid waiting in the wings named Stetson Bennett.
Who's that guy?
The mailman, Stetson Bennett.
Oh yeah,
Stetson Bennett. So
nobody likes him.
So what Kirby was able to do from helping the team rebound from losing the national championship, bringing them almost back the following year, navigating through injuries to key players, a COVID season, a COVID shortened season, and then to bring them all the way to the national championship, to dominate on defense, which made the offense look even that more phenomenal. The defense made the offensive job easy. It's not hard to score a touchdown when you're taking over the ball. When you're taking over the ball like on your opponent's inside your opponent's 50. If you take over the ball,
the amount of 3 and outs, yeah, you're right. Absolutely, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Hey, not that hard.
I mean, I'm not knocking the offense because they put in work too. I mean, Zeus showed out this year. James Cook showed out this year. Adonai Mitchell, Lad McConkey, Brock Bowers. I mean,
keep it going, dude. There's so many names you can throw out.
Cast of characters. What's your boy's name? The other tight end that they would Zero, big double zero.
Yeah. Shit, I can't remember his name.
But all of this cast of characters to build that up, to go undefeated in the regular season, have one loss to Alabama, and see, this is the thing that got me to have me worried. When they lost to Alabama in the conference championship, that is normally when they get down on themselves. And I mean, you've seen it. They lost to Alabama the following year after losing to Alabama in the national championship, went to the Peach Bowl, laid a big fat goose egg against Mr. I don't know if we're back yet, Sam Ellinger and crew, with the last second field goal by Cameron Dicker, the kicker. But he brought them all the way back. And they went to the CFP. Sorry, Kate, if you're catching this. They went to the CFP and they kicked the ever-loving dog stomp out of Michigan. Michigan, who was the most dominant team in the the second most dominant, the first most dominant team in the Big Ten this past season. And Ohio State was more dominant, but Michigan made the dominant Ohio State team with a Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback look like a bunch of toddlers. And Georgia went in there and made those guys look like a bunch of toddlers. I said, oh, it's on now. Let's go. But it's still inside. I'm going, but it's in the head. The one inside my head is going, but that's still Bama. You know what Bama does every time.
You know what Bama does, though, right?
Yes. And we do know from past experience, we know very well what our dear friends from Tuscaloosa does.
Bama does what Bama do.
Yes, Bama does what Bama do. And by the way,
we got what they did. It's intention. They did what they did, and they
did exactly what they did. They did what they do. But this time, instead of falling over, we said we gonna hit you back. It was like this.
See, Anthony, the thing is with this team, I mean, this right here should show you and everybody else and me. It did show me this, is that there was no quitting this team. Like there was nothing. I mean, you had a great defense. There's no doubt you had a great defense. You had N'Kobe, which was a leader. You've seen him on the field, like telling everybody like where to go, where to position themselves, and do here. Look at you missed this, you missed that. You saw him telling everybody what to do. And on the offense, even though you had a fifth year or whatever walk on quarterback, you had this guy, and I said this so many times, and I still believe this. He had so many times that he could have just rolled over. He could have, like you said, Anthony, he could have just said, Coach, I'm done, bro. I'm done. Can put JT in there. He's better than I am. He's a 5-star. You got him for a reason. But he didn't. He came back, and he actually came. If he made a mistake, he actually capitalized it in the next championship game, which I'm talking about. He didn't look well, and didn't look good in the SEC game. And that whole game still, to me, just it just messes with my mind a little bit because I mean, the offense on Alabama never looked that good. The defense on ours never looked that bad. So I mean, it was just a thing to me.
I'm gonna tell you something that we will never know. That we could live to be 150 years old, and we will never know if that was a
I mean, I don't want to say it's a conspiracy theory, but I mean, at the same point, it looks stupid. It looks crazy.
I don't know if it was jobbed up or not, or maybe just maybe old Saint Nick was
bar none. All right. But bar none, what I'm saying is like that team was a 100% cohesive. I think that team was the best team Georgia's ever had. I mean, I'm saying like 1980 was great. I'm glad we won that championship back then. But as far as the offense, defense, I think that was the most complete.
Yes, the team was complete, and you used the adjective that I was going to throw out there, cohesive.
Yeah, that's the word I'm going to use for today, cohesive. Because if you got anything bad to say about the University of Georgia Bulldogs, I am diametrically and systematically opposed to you opposing them being cohesive.
But yeah, I mean,
wait for it. After a while, I'm gonna have this whole three-way conversation. It's gonna be Shaq and Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp.
Oh my God, I want to see that. Let's go.
I was saying, I went to the game. Always was the biggest person in the room. I met Big Baby. I met Big Baby. He said to me, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Shaq." His hand was bigger than my whole head. You know, my head looked like a giant milk dud. Q-Star till the day I die. Room, Papa John's Pizza. I got in my Buick. I drove off.
Shaq, nobody understood a word you said, Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know why you sitting here.
Stephen A. Smith, first thing is you need to let your mustache grow back out. Stop having somebody cut it for you like that.
Oh my goodness. Look. Oh, you better stop it right now. Shaquille O'Neal just sat right there, Stephen A. Smith. He sat right in that chair right there and told you.
I'm done. Hold on. Oh my God. Then you gotta throw in a little bit of dandelion across the rib from Norbert.
Oh, we can't.
The man of many voices.
Oh my God.
The man of many voices.
Look, if y'all missed if y'all did not watch this show today, y'all missed that. I couldn't keep that going. I mean, he sat right over there, Shaquille O'Neal, 6'8", 4'12", Shaquille O'Neal, just roasted Stephen A. Stephen, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you a number. You gonna go over there, you gonna see my man. He go tell him Uncle Shay Shay sent you for Club Shay Shay, because you can't be sitting in Club Shay Shay with your hairline running up on the back of your head. Look like the I'm a little teacup if you lay on your back, and just look like a teacup full of chocolate milk.
I almost spit on my computer. Oh God.
Your hairline, Stephen A. Smith, look like it want to say the sun will come out tomorrow. Okay, I'm done. I'm back.
I almost did a speaker. I almost did a speaker right here. Oh God. Oh my goodness. Woo! Good gravy.
But we were talking about Kirby Smart.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And, I don't know where we do this sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching us for the first time, please do not be alarmed. Do not adjust. Do not attempt to adjust your television.
I miss this.
We're absolutely fine.
Oh God.
Oh man, Sean Spencer, you missing this right now, bro. Wish you had been here for this.
You hit him?
Anyway, yeah, I know, right? Where you at, man? Check in. I'm looking to see if he's popped in and gotten the message yet. So I don't know if he's gotten home yet.
In there, man. He probably still on the plane.
Oh, he's coming home from New Orleans?
I believe so. He said he would be home between 8 and 9. So I don't know.
Hey, look. I guarantee you he got home and Kat said, nope, no more football or nothing for you tonight. We had a good time. Let's go to sleep. So anyway, Kirby Smart took that team in 6 years and took them from also rans. These were the phrases that people said about Georgia under Mark Richt. A great coach who can't get it done. A nice guy, but he can't keep the team cohesive. At some point during the season, the wheels are going to fall off at the most inconvenient time. Kirby Smart managed to keep those boys focused, as it is hard to focus when you are when you running through your season and it looks like you might run the table, it's hard to stay focused. Perfect case in point: Oklahoma, OU Lady Sooners softball team. They are mollywhopping people left, right, and Sunday. They just beat Kansas on Saturday by the score of 19-0 on the run rule. And the second inning, the score was 2-0. And then they went. I'm sorry. In the fourth inning, the score was 2-0, and the Lady Sooners went on a 17-run tear. They just beat the snot out of them. Yeah, they have run ruled their opponents by. I think they have run ruled their opponents. I think they're 39-40. They should be 40 or 41-0 right now.
Oh,
they
God.
40 and won. They lost one game, and that was my whole point. At some point, it's hard to run the table. It is difficult to run the table. Yeah. The best squad in the NBA in the history of the NBA went 73-9.
That's what I was going to say. Kentucky.
In the NBA.
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry. I was talking about women.
It was
college football, college basketball.
What you call them? The Golden State Warriors broke the Bulls 72-10 record. But it's hard. It's hard to maintain that. So he kept those boys focused. They lost that big game, which is the SEC championship. Oh, here they go again, losing to Alabama. They can't get it done. He got them refocused. He took them back. He said, "Don't worry about it. We're number one in the polls right now. We will be okay. If we get to the CFP, we're gonna handle business." And that's exactly what they did. They came back and they just they handled it.
The thing to me, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Mark Richt. Don't worry about it. He's a God-fearing man. I get it. You know, he's good for 10 wins. You know, never could win the big one, unfortunately. But what I'm saying, like, if you look at both him and Kirby, look at their I guess what their personality, number one, on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Mark Richt had nobody put a little bit of leash on him to kind of pull him back, a little baby leash. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about like early episodes, to yank him back by that belt loop and that kind of stuff. He never had that. You know what I'm saying? Like you see Kirby. I mean, like when Third and Ringo happened, you see how high Kirby jumped. I don't think I've ever seen Kirby jump that high.
Kirby was
like a 36-inch vert. I mean, it was crazy.
Hey, Kirby was a DB.
Passion, you know what I'm saying?
Kirby was a DB though, so you know he had to have some hops.
But he has the passion. Was Rick did play football, right? Who did he play for? He didn't play for Georgia though, did he?
Miami.
He didn't play. Okay, that's why he went back to Miami. He tried to do that kind of stuff, put Bibles in the chairs, all that kind of stuff, do something he probably couldn't. You know, it wasn't going to happen. But at the same point, you know, I feel that Kirby has although I mean, since he's gone there, he is an alumni of University of Georgia. He's got the passion. He's got more passion. Not saying that Rick doesn't, but I mean, you can see the passion that Kirby has, and I think that just kind of melds into the players. You know what I'm saying? To make
that man, I have never seen a coach more passionate about Georgia football than Kirby Smart, ever. I mean,
I was very happy to come back from Alabama. I mean, he did a great job at Alabama. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying I was glad to see him come back to his alma mater and do what he's done. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's like, you know, we were saying. I don't know if we said it on this show or if it was said on Let's Talk Football. Basically, Mark pulled the old Thunderbird out of the garage, got it polished up, put new tires on it, had the new engine put in it, had it reupholstered, had all the windshields replaced. He got it looking nice and pretty. And then he turned to Kirby and handed him the keys and said, "Here you go, son. Take good care of the baby."
But then again, you look at recruitment, right? I mean, look at recruitment. Look at what he's done as far as recruitment goes the past couple of years. You know, I mean, he's done. I mean, not that Rick hadn't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like Rick maybe had done. We've had the talent. We've always had the talent. You can't deny that. We've always had the talent. But how we use it is a different story, right? But I mean, I think Kirby has. I mean, especially now since we got that ring. Especially we got that ring now. Oh my God! Look out! Here comes the recruit. I mean, like here they come.
Yeah, and then on top of that, there's always you're looking at Saban signed that deal, and that deal is good through what 25.
I believe so. Well, then there you go. I mean, Kirby's got rings with Saban. You know what I'm saying? Like he's proven tried and true. So I mean, he's the dude.
Yeah, but my point is that Saban has signed that deal, and I think his deal is good through 2025. So when kids are, obviously kids want to play ball in the SEC, and the bulk of them either want to go to Athens or Tuscaloosa. So let's say you're a kid who is going to be starting high school this coming fall, and you know that the greatest coach in the history of Division I NCAA football, quite possibly, is going to potentially be retiring by the time you get to college.
Right.
Where are you going to go?
You're right.
Where you going? If you want to go, if you're looking for a marquee program, if you're looking for a marquee program in the United States to play for, where are you going to go? And Kirby has proven he can pull them from anywhere. I mean, he pulled JT Daniels from all the way the hell out in California, and Eason was from Washington. Yeah, he's pulling kids from all over. Now, granted, Washington didn't have that great a program, and Pete Carroll was gone from USC, so nobody really wanted to play for USC. Now, whatever Tebow does out there in Los Angeles with the Trojans, the lie he didn't say out loud, we'll see. But I don't think he's going to affect recruiting that much, not for the first couple of years, because he's not going to turn them around this year. So Kirby could pull kids from anywhere to come and play for him, is what I'm saying. That's my point. He's not just pulling all the kids from inside Georgia. He's pulling kids from Florida, South Carolina, Virginia.
And that's when you know that you're a good coach, when you can pull people from out of state. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because a lot of kids from out of state, it's like, why should I travel? Why should I travel from Lansing to come play for you? I can go play right over there. Play right over there. Or even if I don't want to play for here or go play at the Horseshoe, I can go play at Happy Valley. Why do I want to come down there?
And then you look at Kirby, and like Kirby is a protege of the quite possibly the best coach in college football. You know
what I wonder? I wonder if all of Saban's other proteges who are coaching college ball somewhere are pissed that Kirby was the one to get it first.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. I bet
because you know how
who was it A&M? Who was the coach of A&M? The first one, not the first one to beat him.
Fisher.
But it was the one that beat him. Fisher, yeah, Jimbo. Yeah. Jimbo beat him that year, right? Jimbo beat him.
Yeah, Jimbo. He beat him like week 3, week 4. It was the biggest upset of the season.
Right, and then we beat him in the national championship. So, I mean. That's a good question. I have no idea, but at the same point, isn't that good position to be in if you're Saban? I mean, like, you have people gunning for your ass because you are that good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, you've got to give props to your, the coaches that coached under you, that you actually, that you're proteges. I mean, like that's testament to him. I mean, I'm not down at Saban by any stretch. I mean, obviously until Kirby, overtakes him, he's going to be the greatest coach of.
Although right now he's tracking right along for his first 6 years. He's tracking right along with Saban's record.
I know he is.
So I foresee he's going to have a lot of. He's got a. I know it's a different day and age. He's going to have a lot of leash room to do some things. I mean, when Vince was coach, you just coached until you did something absolutely horrid and they ran you out the door, or I mean, you had to literally be the worst coach ever to get run out the door.
I mean, you got to think, when you win a national championship, bro. I mean, you've got the keys to the city. I mean, like, honestly, But you also got to be right, because look at what happened to Ed Orgeron. Mm-hmm.
Won a national championship in 2020.
Well, I mean, look at Coach O. I mean,
that's what I'm talking about. He won the national championship, and then the next year they were like, yeah, no.
It just goes to show you can't be messing around in the front office. You know what I'm saying?
You said it. I didn't.
I know. It's the truth. Common sense, bro. Not everybody got it.
Right. Common sense. The older I get, the more I'm starting to think that common sense is not so common.
That's right.
If you find yourself at 4 a.m. in a 7-Eleven that is 2 blocks from the trap house in the heart of Atlanta, wearing a blue top and a red pair of sweatpants and wondering why everybody is walking around looking like they want to kick you in your ass, you ain't got no common sense, boo-boo.
Bobo.
And I'm back. So, yeah. So, I mean, dude, so many great things we could say about Kirby. I think it's time that we could put that narrative to bed.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like we're like homers, which we are, but at the same point, you can't deny what he's done. I mean, honestly, if you're another football fan, you can't deny what he's done in such a short amount of time. You can't deny what he's done. So I mean,
well, here's going to be the real litmus test. The real litmus test is going to be, how do they come back from losing 15 players altogether?
Oh yeah, no, that's always been in my head. I'm sure it's been in your head too. I mean, it's next man up, right? I mean, that's what it said. Next man up. We see what we got. I don't know who we have. I mean, we've got all these people that are coming up, but have they been? Well, let's go this way.
Yeah. Well, they lost. They lost a total of 8 guys on defense.
Okay.
So,
but I mean, how many people did we have that were playing that you kind of paid attention to in the spring game? In defense,
you know what though? I really wasn't paying the defense any mind because they really weren't giving the defense a lot of. It's hard in the spring game to really give them and to pay attention because you don't get like the whole goal is to have the exhibition, but nobody get hurt.
Right.
So they weren't going full tilt boogie like Oklahoma drill. So that's something I'm going to have to look at once the games get started.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
And then as far as the offense, I mean, Stetson is going to Stetson. Carson threw a couple of ropes. Brock, I can see Brock needs some. I think Brock's biggest thing is he needs more reps. He's been on the sideline for 2 years. So,
yeah,
what are you going to do there? But I think that so the litmus test is going to be next year. How does he get the next group of guys up to come up and perform? Like if they can at least get as far as Alabama did this past season, maybe not even a national championship, but just the conference championship game. It's just and make a good showing in a championship game. I think is justified. Then we could say, okay, Kirby's definitely got. Because the thing before was, well, he can't get him over the hump with the conference playoff, the conference championship. Then he did that. Now he can't get him over the hump in the national championship. So then he did that. So now the next litmus test is, how does he, because Alabama won the national championship the year before.
Right. And
they were able to make it back. They weren't as dominant, but they were still able to make it back. So if we can get at least as far as a national championship, a conference championship, I think that's a good start because we did lose a whole bunch of players.
We did.
Yeah, and that I guess that leads us in a 2-minute warning, which is where we kind of winding it down now. I think like I said, talking about the draft. I'm really stoked to see what the guys that got drafted are going to do, not just from Georgia, but from all over the SEC. We spent a good lot of time talking about all of these guys, and now here, it's like Eminem, you get that one shot, that one opportunity. So I'm stoked to see them. And as far as Georgia is concerned, I'm really excited to see a new batch of guys step up and do what they're going to do. So, that's what I got for my 2-minute warning.
I couldn't have said it any better. I mean, we're doing this show, and I know a lot of people think we are Georgia fans or whatever, but we are college football fans, number one, and we recognize good talent. But at the same point, we're happy for our, because we invest a lot of time, like you said, invest a lot of time in our Georgia boys, and I'm happy that they, actually, we got 15 of them. I'm like, all 15 went. I mean, when can you say that? And
never.
It was just a phenomenal year. I mean, like we won the national championship out of 41 years. We didn't even see that, and we had the record of the players getting drafted. So I mean, dude, the only thing me being a Georgia boy is like the only thing is like the Hawks. I guess they lost, but they were close. But the Falcons.
They weren't even remote. I mean, at least they made it. At least they made it to the playoffs 2 years running. But when
exactly right,
they've got to get over that hump.
The other two sports we got the Falcons and we got the Hawks. I mean, and to be quite honest, I didn't think I was ever going to see a national championship for the Dogs. While I was living and breathing. I mean, I didn't want to believe that, but I didn't think I would. And then and the Braves too. So I mean, very thankful of that. Very thankful of the players that played for Georgia last year and never gave up. And they're on this next tier of success. Hopefully they just stay healthy and get it going. That's it. But that's me in a nutshell. I mean, I'm a Georgia dog through. I'm a Georgia dog through and through. I'm a Georgia homer for everything. So
yeah, man. Me too. I'm digging that flag you got on the wall back there.
Yeah, dude. You see, I've got what? Got a bunch of little plush, little dog, little hairies back there.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one over the other shoulder. It's nice the way they put it together. Yeah, because it's got the dog G, and then it's got the Braves A at the end.
So we need like four of them. We need like four. We need the Hawks and the Hawks and the Falcons and the Braves and the Dogs.
Nah, don't put the Falcons on there. We have to get them this up. They got some work to do. They've been relegated. They've been relegated to the little kids table at Thanksgiving. So
very true, my brother. And you know what's funny? I think I told you this before, but like I didn't even get into hockey until I moved up here. And the everybody's a Caps fan.
Oh yeah,
I watched the Caps, and I was like, I want to be a homer. I was like, this was a long time ago, and I was like, does Atlanta have like a hockey team? And it was the Thrashers. It was Atlanta Thrashers.
Yeah, we had it.
And then they got sold off to Winnipeg, and I was like, as soon as I found out who they were, they got sold off to Winnipeg. I was like, well, damn. All right.
Yeah, What's His Nuts referenced them in What's His Nuts? Ludacris referenced them in the song that he had. He said we some ATL Thrashers, Atlanta to Savannah. We come through harder than a tsunami disaster.
Oh my God, you are KJ. You are karaoke DJ. Got the lyrics.
Yeah, it was him and UGK and
what's somebody else. Oh, UGK too?
I don't know, UGK or somebody else. It was Georgia. There's a song with the sample from Ray Charles of Georgia in it.
Oh, Georgia? Yeah. No,
we on the grind and all the time and nothing on my mind, but we ain't playing with you.
Yep, I know exactly song you're talking about. Yep, I'm gonna listen to that. We'll get off.
Ain't nothing like that GA Red play.
Okay, see, I get lost on that if I get started again. That one is fire right there.
They throw some TI there.
That's not the real air horn. I have some sound effects, y'all. For those of you that messed around and gave us sound effects, that's what you got.
Yeah, you got to work on that, man. I want to hear some sound effects.
I mean, there's only 10 of them. We got an air horn. We got 2 different types of applause. We got a chant.
We gotta do that. Dun, 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 dun. Well, we'll do that during the season.
Yeah, we'll do that. We will bring that back. We will bring that back. And then got a couple of drum rolls there. But ladies and gentlemen, we do appreciate you joining us today for This Week in the SEC. That was the wrong one. We appreciate you joining us for This Week in the SEC. I am Mr. Fingers. That guy right there, the brother from another mother, the sexy mother, Hubbard, the ace of base, in your face, into place, Colin P. We appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoyed what you saw, give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. And oh, by the way, please do not forget to either visit cdhi.org to donate today to our fundraiser, or if you would like, we're going to put this back, we're going to clip this part out and put it up later. Visit tinyurl.com/zapodcast.merch. 100% of the merchandise from that site only will be donated to cdhi.org this month to help with research for CDH and to help raise funds for families in need and to help get wheels in motion for legislation for CDH research. So on behalf of my co-host and myself, Mr. Fingers, Colin P., we appreciate y'all. We will see y'all next time. And that ended too quick. See, I got new toys to play with. So I don't know which one. I got new toys to play with, so I don't know which one to go with. So we're gonna try this again, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you next go round. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. My man.